Hello friends, in this video we will be discussing about the Rootkarak house or Rootkarak house for any house B in focus. What is the importance of this house? How we check the status of Rootkarak and how this affects house B. We will discuss everything in this video. So here is a chart, 27th of the October 1971. You can cast a chart taking time and latitude longitude. As you know, third house is Rootkarak house for the first house, and third house is also taken for the Kaubal Prakram. So what we see from the Drishkot chart or D3 chart is the status of the first house, individuality, personality of a person. But the main question is how we will see all this from D3. As we all know, first house is fifth from the ninth house, that is for siblings. So brother, sister, we take from the first house. What we check from the Rootkarak house is the status of Rootkarak in D3. चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं सेकंड हाउस से. So taking second house, which is for the net assets, the Rootkarak house is fourth house, and D4 we will check for the status of net asset. Here is D4 chart. As you can see, so now we will check the status of Rootkarak house and the Rootkarak. Rootkarak is Libra sign, and the Lord is Venus. The Venus has gone to Cancer sign in D4 chart, and the Lord of Cancer is Moon, and this Moon is in 7th house of the Rashi chart. So we will say the partner of this person is good. Next we have to check the planets in the 4th house also. Taking Mercury. Mercury is in Aries sign in D4, and the Lord of Aries is Mars, and the Mars has come to 8th house of Rashi chart. So we can say the net assets of this person could be from the 8th house. 8th house mean this person might be making some programs, patent, etc. So the net assets will be generated through the 8th house. And the next planet is Sun in the 4th house. So this Sun has gone to Lagna of the D4 chart, and Saturn is Lord, and this Saturn has come to 11th house in Rashi chart. So we can see, or this indicate that there is no problem creating assets or net assets for this person. So we have seen the status of Rootkarak and the planets in the Rootkarak house, how the net assets will be manifested of this person. So regarding the status of Rootkarak, how many houses are involved, or D4 Ansha. By D4 Ansha you can see Venus, and the Venus goes to Moon, and this Moon comes to 7th house of the Rashi chart. So 7th house is involved. Similarly 8th house is involved because Sun has gone to Capricorn of D4, and Saturn has gone to 11th house, so 11th house is also involved. So these three houses like 7th, 8th and the 11th houses of Rashi chart are involved for the generation of the net asset of this person. And also Ansha like Moon, D4 Ansha like Moon and Saturn and Mars are giving indication how the net assets will be generated for this person. As Moon is also in the 7th house, because this is Ansha of 4th house, so this shows that the person will be generating his net assets by his own hard work. So we get an idea how the assets will be generated. And also in the worksheet you can see all the planets with the good points. So we can say gradually his net assets will be increased with his hard work. And the Dincharya is also hard work. So you have to change the Dincharya or routine to make efforts to create the assets as well. Now let's talk about 5th house now. 5th house is for education, children, and the Rootkarak house for the 5th house is 7th house, and a lot of Rootkarak house is Saturn. This Saturn has gone to Capricorn sign in the D7 chart, and the Ansha of D7 again is Saturn, and this Saturn is again situated in the 11th house. Next we should also take planets in the Rootkarak house. Rahu and Moon both are in D7. So first we will take Moon. Moon is in the Leo sign of the D7. So the Ansha of D7 or D7 Ansha is Sun, and this Sun has gone to 4th house. Next let's take Rahu. Rahu has gone to Scorpio sign of D7, and Mars is in 8th house of the Rashi chart as an Ansha or D7 Ansha. We have to consider the representation of the Rahu also. Rahu is in Capricorn sign, that is Saturn, and Rahu is in Moon Nakshatra. So we have to consider Moon and the Saturn also for the Rahu representation. Moon we have already covered. For the T7, Saturn also we have covered for the T7. As I have already mentioned, the 5th house take ashram wise, and for the first 25 year this is for education, 25 to 50 year this is for grahasth ashram, children, house, marriage, etc. And from 50 to 75 year it's house of crown, and after 75 to 100 year this is for the mukti. Now we have to consider the bindus of moon also, or any planet in Rootkarak house. Here moon is with the 3 bindus, so we can say this is a delay causing planet, or obstructing the results of the 5th house. So this could delay in childbirth. Similarly, Rahu is representing Moon and Saturn, and Moon is again an obstructing planet, giving obstruction to 5th house matters. Similarly, Saturn is also with the 3 points or the 3 bindus, so this is also obstructing planet, we will say. As I am saying already, Moon is an obstructing planet, so during the Antardasha of Moon this may give unfavorable results for the 5th house matter. We are saying here that the divisionals are always for the quality, so Moon will give obstruction quality wise. Now if we see worksheet, Moon has 11 point, so timing is also not good, and the quality of the Moon is equally of obstructing nature. So दोनों में, क्वालिटी में और टाइमिंग में, Moon is not favorable, we can say. Even if the Moon is with more than 12 points in the worksheet, that means that it will give the timing. Okay, that's good, but due to its situation in the D7 and less bindus, this will obstruct, and obstruction could be in the education. Say below 25 year, Moon could give break in the education, and after 25 year, if Moon Antardasha is there, then this could give delay to childbirth. We meant to say timing will be there if it is more than 12 points, but it will not give happiness. So there is a difference. More points in the worksheet and the less bindus in the Rootkarak house. To understand this part more clearly, if the points are more or more than 12 for the moon, that means for the education he will go through, but the grade will be not so satisfactory due to obstructing nature. Moon will deteriorate the result. अच्छे से नंबर नहीं आएंगे, मार्क्स जो फर्स्ट या सेकंड पोजीशन पे होंगे वो 10th ग्रेड में चले जाएंगे. सो यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड लाइक दैट. And taking for the childbirth, the child could be mentally retarded or having some health issues or the problem during the moon antardasha, because moon is obstructing 5th house results. So till now it should be clear that planets with less than 4 bindus will obstruct the result for house B, but on the other side it will raise the status of the chart because of the aspects, mutual aspects, to raise the worksheet points. I have to mention one more important point, that Rootkarak, if it is in the 6th house of divisional chart, this will spoil the result. Like here for the 5th house matter, Saturn is Rootkarak, and if this Saturn is in 6th house, I mean to say Libra sign of the D7, this will obstruct, not obstruct, but this will spoil the 5th house results and give the same result. It could give the same result like moon can give, but there is a difference. This is obstructing and this is spoiling, so you have to differentiate both the things. Saturn as a Rootkarak is in 6th house, so this spoil the result means there could be delay in childbirth, or we can say after 11 year the result could be there, or childbirth could be there. But don't take it otherwise. We have to leave this part right now and focus on the subject. The question could be, if moon is with more bindus and this comes to the 6th house of D7, it will again spoil the result. Or if moon is with 3 bindus and this moon in the 6th house, then also it will spoil the result. So negative positive नहीं होगा. The result will be same if the planet is with less bindus. It will obstruct. This is the proper word. Next, we are taking 7th house as B and Rootkarak house is 9th house for the 7th house. The lord of the 7th house is Saturn and the Rootkarak is Jupiter. So Jupiter is with 7 bindus, and this Jupiter is in 12th house of Navamsa. You can see here, and Ansha, Karakansha, Rootkarakansha is Mangal or Mars, and this is situated in 8th house of the Rashi chart. So the first point is Rootkarak Jupiter is with more bindus, so it is not obstructing marriage or 7th house result. And this is also in the 12th house, so this is enhancing the result of the 7th house. Now what if this Jupiter goes to 11th house in the Navamsa or in Libra? This will spoil the result of the marriage. And this we all know, Jupiter in Libra gives the problem, delay in marriage and multiple affairs also. Again, if this Libra sign goes to 12th house of the Navamsa, that means this will enhance the bad results of the Libra, means enhancement of malefic things for the 7th house. So this Jupiter is enhancing the result for the 7th house, and this is not situated in Libra sign, and it is with the more than 7 point, so it's all good for the 7th house. Now taking the next example, the Rootkarak Jupiter अगर नवामसा में Sagittarius में होता तो this could have given problem for the marriage or deny the marriage. So taking overall the things we have discussed and how should we take or consider bindus of any planet for the obstruction or for the favor. If this is with more bindus, then this will favor the result of house B. Accordingly, you can apply to every house individually, like D4 for net assets, D7 for 5th house, and Navamsha, that is for whole life and in general life, and you can find out the results whether these are favorable or not favorable. Rootkarak house for any house is more important, and the planets with the less or more bindus in it also count for the favorable or non-favorable results for related house, because the same planet, when they are computed for the timing, they comes to the points here with powerful or the less power. This is for timing, and timing versus quality you can find out with the bindus also, comparing worksheet points versus bindus for any house. I try to make it a compact session, though this is very important, and you can cast this chart This chart I have taken from the group, and you can take it searching message number 2076. To summarize this, I will repeat what I have already explained to you. The planets with the more bindus will favor the Rootkarak house. The planets with the less bindus will obstruct the result for the Rootkarak house. And the planets with the neutral or 4 points will remain neutral for the result. So those planets which are having more than 4 points will definitely favor the Rootkarak house. If the planets with the more points is favoring Rootkarak house, then the roots become healthier, and if the roots or the root become healthier, then the fruit of house B becomes sweeter or favorable, or whatever you want to say.